Welcome to the Live Explore podcast. If you like what you hear, please hit like and subscribe.
I'm Alan Maceo, broker associate with Live Explore Real Estate and Lifestyle. I'm here with Nieves DeMartini Payne. We're going to talk about distressed properties, what causes them, and where you can find help. Hi, Nieves.
Hi, Alan. Thank you.
What is a distressed property?
A distressed property is when you're in a situation of being past or overdue on your mortgage payments. So that's how distressed property gets defined. So it could be one payment or more, and being behind on the mortgage payment means 30-day late. So, for example, your payment is due on the 1st. It's late on the 15th. There's usually late fees associated with the mortgage after the 15th, but once it gets past 30 days late, so once you go past the 1st of the following month, that's when the mortgage company will report it to the credit bureaus as a late payment, and they will then consider you a month behind.
So being a month behind is when it is, in effect, a distressed property.
Yes, correct.
Okay,
That's
and
correct.
so what happens to me after 1 month? I mean, you talked about I've had the credit bureau has been reported to. Mm-hmm. Then what happens?
So your bank will certainly be notifying you that you are due for payments. The way that you handle it will affect the next steps. Let's say you make a payment on the 2nd of the following month, and you can make another payment on the 10th of the following month after that. So you're still running a month behind. They're reporting you late every month as a 30-day late, but that's called a rolling 30-day late. What happens though during that time is that the late fees are getting charged to you every month. So you're accruing this additional balance of late fees and also accruing interest on the payment that's past due. So all of that is occurring to where it's putting you in a worse position, because now you've got additional amounts due. Plus, it will get to a point where they will stop accepting your payment, and typically that's going to be after, if you've missed 2 payments, if you're behind by 2, unless you get that third one in a timely way and probably pay off those late fees too. In most cases, for most banks, they're gonna stop taking your payments unless you can bring yourself completely up to date.
Okay, let's go back to the rolling 30-day. Mm-hmm. So I'm behind 1 month, mm-hmm. Okay, and then on the following month I make a payment, mm-hmm. Right? And then the third month, could I go in on the third month or go into the bank and say, I want to make a payment back to the first month that I was late?
They don't really. Typically, they're not going to really account for it that way. They're gonna always say you're late. You've got this rolling late, unless you go in and update yourself for all the months. I mean, you can at any point pay everything what's past due and then be brought fully current, and then just start making your payments the next month. If you're 1 or 2 payments behind, but they're not going to say, okay, well, I'm going to assign it to this month or that month. They won't do that.
Okay, if I don't have the ability to get current, mm-hmm. All right, and I'm still maybe coming up on the third month, what can I do?
Well, even before that, I would recommend getting in touch with the bank, letting them know what your situation is. And of course, everyone's going to have a different situation. Sometimes it's a temporary situation where okay, well, we had this emergency. We had a medical emergency, and we had all these medical bills and things that we had to pay for, and that's why I got a month behind. And I know that in the next couple months, I'm going to be able to get caught back up. Okay, versus I got laid off and I don't know when I'm going to be able to get caught back up, right? So there's different scenarios. Right. So when you call your bank, you explain to them what your situation is, and then that way you can discuss with them what your possible options are. If you know it's something that's temporary, it's a short-term hardship, then perhaps they can work with you with a forbearance program. And what a forbearance program is that they take the past due payments, put them at the end of the loan and allow you to start fresh. I mean, there's the penalties and everything gets added into your balance, but then you're allowed to just move forward and continue to be current. So for a short-term hardship, that could be one possible option. If you've got a situation where you're laid off and you don't know when you're going to be able to make payments, then when you talk to the bank, you talk to them about other possible options, which could be including selling the home. And in the disposition of the home, there's a couple of different ways of doing that depending on what your equity position is in the house.
Okay, so that sounds, I don't really want to go to my bank and have this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I know I should, but this sounds like it's beyond what I'm capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
Can you provide help, or where can I go to get somebody to help me do that?
Yes, 100%. I mean, certainly you can talk to your attorney, but we're here as real estate agents here at Live Explore, for example. We can help you to talk about your options first of all, as much as we can, describe them to you just like we're talking now, and then we can help you get in touch with your bank. The bank will allow us to talk to them directly if you'd like. They'll provide what's called a third-party authorization that you sign, and that allows them to speak to us directly. So if we're going to be helping you sell the home, for example, in that case, we can talk to the bank and let them know what's going on. The house is on the market now. We're feeling like we're getting close to getting it sold, so that way the bank knows that you're addressing it, responsibly, and also that there's going to be some resolution.
So after 1 month behind, is that when you could come in and help negotiate or navigate the course for me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Because again, whether it's going to be a short-term hardship or something more long-term, you still want to, the best way to do it is to do it as soon as possible, to address it as soon as possible, and get your bank involved. And I think that, sometimes that's a scary step, right? You don't want to tell your bank, oh gosh, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pay. So if you can, we can help you to understand what your options are and what the outcomes could possibly be. And then that way you can work within that. And yes, that's when you get your bank involved. It's important to do it as soon as you know. I mean, you probably know when you're getting to be past that first month, whether you're going to be able to pay the next month or not. You're in a situation where, maybe I can borrow, maybe I can pull from savings or a 401k or something like that to get caught up, or maybe I don't see any real option. So I feel like you probably know that pretty early on.
Okay, how do we get a hold of you if we need you to come in and take care of this for us?
Sure, absolutely. Just my email is nieves@liveexplore.com, and phone number 707-695-4078. And any of us here at the office certainly will have access to this type of information to be able to help.
Perfect. Thank you very much. It's good talking to you.
Thanks, Alan.
Welcome to the Live Explore podcast. If you like what you hear, please hit like and subscribe.